When you look at the Indo-Pacific significance per se, you have India, Japan, and ASEAN. There are rising concerns over not just the rise of China but also the United States' presence competition amidst China's muscular expansion. This muscular expansion, as you well know, is focused in the maritime zone in the South China Sea. You have read and heard about the multiple islands, artificial islands, which have been created by China on small rocks which were existing in that area. So I think this is a major development as far as this region is concerned, particularly related to the countries of the ASEAN, who are having the maritime and maritime disputes, territorial disputes with China in the South China Sea. You have Japan declaring the free Indo-Pacific strategy. You have the India-Japan Asia-Africa growth corridor. You have India Sagar, security and growth for all in the region. You simultaneously have other major powers who are trying to make inroads in this region, such as the European Union. Lately, we have the European Union declaring the strategy of security, a very comprehensive strategy which has been declared by the European Union to expand their security and the defense interests is also very much evident and is increasingly becoming a factor as far as the Asia-Pacific or Indo-Pacific is concerned. In addition, a number of EU members or non-EU European members, such as, I'm now talking of the United Kingdom, EU members as France, Germany, Italy, Netherlands, have all shown much interest as far as the Indo-Pacific is concerned recently. Particularly France. France, as you know, has got the Reunion Islands in the Indo-Pacific, which is part of this region, as showing growing interest as far as the Indo-Pacific is concerned, and this is in consonance with its interest in India. However, one would say that even up to 2019, mid-2019 and beyond, the traction of many countries towards growth in the Indo-Pacific was to some extent limited. Even India did not flag the Indo-Pacific concerns in a very strong way till very recently, that is in this current year 2020. I remember in 2018 when our Prime Minister spoke in the Shangri-La dialogue, he never talked about the Indo-Pacific. He talked about reasons for continuance of security and growth for all, for security of the global commons, for development of trade, etc., etc. In 2020, as we all know, one of the important factors which has brought about this change has been COVID-19 and the growing anti-China sentiment, not only in this region but across the globe. Of course, COVID-19 is one factor, but one would also say that apart from COVID-19, the other factor is China's aggressive push to secure its territorial sovereignty and interests in the maritime as well as the land zone, which has been the two simultaneous drivers, I would say, which has resulted in growing attention of the region in the Indo-Pacific and the Asia-Pacific per se. You see, China's expansion in South China Sea and the US pushback through FONOPS. FONOPS, as you know, is freedom of navigation operations, which are being carried out by the United States in this region per se is one factor. China's claims in South China Sea and the ASEAN members' bilateral concerns. A number of ASEAN members are seeing maritime disputes starting with Philippines, Vietnam, Brunei, Indonesia, Malaysia. This bloc is having the maritime disputes with China, and as a result, to gain traction, they are increasingly turning towards extraterritorial parts in the region such as the United States, such as India and others. China's own concerns of security of the sea lines of communication. We should not undermine China's own concerns, because China is concerned that the security of the sea lines of communication is vulnerable because most of China's oil energy passes through this region, this oceanic region, and that is a concern which China has. So that is one of the factors. Another factor is the growth of piracy in Somalia. Now, this has resulted from 2011-12 onwards, a large number of naval forces deploying under the UN mandate for control of piracy. As a result, China has deployed its fleet, or China has continuously stationing a portion of its fleet, about 3 ships in the region of Somalia for control of piracy. India, Japan, Southeast Asia, even the European Union, NAVFOR is stationed here. So a number of countries have deployed. So this has given much traction to the salience as far as from the defense and security point of view to the region is concerned. And you have the terrorism as a major factor. Growth of terrorism from Afghanistan was well established, but now new areas which are coming in West Asia have added to these concerns, and this is another factor which is seeing the increase of salience in the region. Humanitarian crisis, which started with a tsunami in the last decade and is continuing even today. We have the oil spill which happened most recently, and you would have read how the Indian Navy and Coast Guard had to go over there. You had a big fire off Sri Lankan coast. Again, the humanitarian crisis is something which has to be looked at carefully. So, on the whole, security of the global commons is what one would say is assuming an importance in the Indo-Asia Pacific